My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca Jorge, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Samas and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Joao Faria and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Good morning as it is now in Central European time, so just past midnight. And various other parts of the world greeting and enjoying the day at different times as it works. In Rio, I believe it's just after 8 o'clock. And the draw has recently been made for the Rio Open qualifying, and they did post it live on Instagram, which I enjoyed. I would say it was a little bit, the presentation skills could have been done a bit better in terms of them sort of mentioning names and then saying that there's this player and this is who they're going to play against. It got a bit confusing, so much so that I even WhatsApp Damien with some misinformation regarding the draw. But now we do actually have it, and it has been posted on the Rio Open Twitter account. Some tournaments, Damien, on the ATP Tour don't even have a Twitter account, right?
Yeah, it's just like one or two, but it still happens, which is pretty shocking in 25. But yeah.
But look at this. Look at this. Can you see that on the screen?
Yeah.
Looks good, doesn't it? Nice presentation. Nice bit of red there to go in with the sponsor as well, and very clear. Even albeit in Portuguese, but even you and I, I'm sure, can work out what's going on, and we can see the route to clasificados, which obviously would be qualification. Obviously, qualifying, for those of you not quite sure how it works, obviously it's very different to the main draw in that there's obviously only one winner in the main draw, whereas qualifiers will have 4 at this ATP 500 event, and there will be 2 rounds of qualifying, and of course that qualifying will involve friend of the show, Jaime Faria. But it won't involve Nagal. Which one of those 2 players do you want to approach first? And why is Nagal not in the draw?
I mean, not much to approach with Nagal, right? I mean, he's just in the main draw.
Yeah, exactly. But he's not in the qualifying because
of Rune? I don't remember who.
Yeah, because of Rune. Yeah,
exactly that.
Rune's withdrawal meant he got promoted. For those of you obviously tuning in, seeing the thumbnail with Nagal and all the rest of it, well, I'll probably update that some other time. But I guess he's still part of the news because Holger Rune has withdrawn through, I don't really know, an unspecified issue, injury. I think he said he rushed back a bit too early from illness to play in Argentina, and that may well have had an effect on his loss yesterday when he gave very short answers in press, to the annoyance, I think, of some of the Argentinian media. And yeah, so he's now also withdrawn from Rio. So that's a bit of a blow to the tournament, I guess. Bearing in mind he was probably half of the sort of big news. Him and Zverev were sort of trumpeted as being the guys to sort of replace Carlos Alcaraz, I guess.
Yeah, but there's also one guy that the Rio Open is heavily relying on. And that guy will be there in the main draw of Rio Open.
Yes.
And was supposed to be a wild card, but actually is going to be there as a special exempt, which is kind of a horrible thing for Laszlo Djere, who will now play him in the semifinals in Buenos Aires. But he was ranked lower than Joao, so the special exempt went to Fonseca.
Okay. And Djere, I see, is not playing. Is he not playing Rio at all?
He can't.
Okay.
I mean, how? Qualifying, he can't play it because he's in the semis of Buenos Aires.
Of course, yeah.
And the special exempt, he lost out to Joao because he's ranked lower.
Bless him. Oh, well, Joao will be in the first round. Of course, he's very much part of the tennis news today after his dramatic 3-set win, where he saved 2 match points against Navoni. But that is something that we're not here to talk about. We are here to talk about qualifiers. Let's get to Jaime Faria. He's going to be playing the Brazilian wildcard Alves. What are your thoughts on that? Jaime, of course, lost in the first round of qualifying. He's obviously had a great sort of Australian Open run where he made the main draw for the first time before losing in 4 sets to Novak Djokovic. No shame there, of course. But then he goes out in the first round of qualifying. I also think he played. Did he play a tournament in Portugal after Australia?
Yeah, and he lost in the first round to Hissler.
Yeah. So it's been a sort of a bit of a comeback down to earth for Jaime. But anyway, he's going to be up against Alves. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
Mateusz Alves, you should remember from playing Carlos Alcaraz 2 years ago at this venue. And it was actually a pretty good match. That was the tournament where Alcaraz was like struggling in every single performance after Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
There are some people still who claim that Mateusz Alves has like a top 100 upside. Just when he's good on his day, he's fine. Decent serve and forehand for sure. I don't know. Like my confidence level in Jaime Faria is pretty mediocre at the moment. Like, sure, we've seen amazing tennis from him, but to actually maintain it has been an issue, and that was also a thing last year, right? I mean, before he won Campinas, was it one of the South American events? Either way, at the end of the season, he also had before that and after that, he also has a couple of just like randomly poor performances. The start of the Golden Swing wasn't too good, but I don't know. He gets a week to train. Obviously, after the kind of performance he had in Melbourne, this is a good draw for him. But Faria is just not one of these players where, you look at a match he's going to play and you're thinking, okay, yeah, he's surely winning this. Definitely, yeah. I think his A game and B game are very different for the moment.
Yeah, right. I mean, it can be his serve that gets him out of trouble. Of course, that is less so like the case on clay. And so, yeah, I think I have a few concerns. I mean, as you said, I think he went over to South America, didn't he, in like November, December, to maybe have one last shot at getting a sort of high enough ranking to make the main draw for Australia, but that didn't quite work out, although it didn't matter in the end because obviously
his trip to South America worked out great, right? I mean, he just didn't play Maya at the very end.
Right, yeah. But yeah, anyway, that is Jaime Faria. He'll be playing Alves, and obviously the home favorite may be heavily backed in his home turf. I'll be there as well over the coming days as well to hopefully cover that and some other matches as well. What would you say is the match that most excites you from this first round in qualifying?
I mean, probably the one that people are going to be looking at is like the clashes between compatriots. So like Barrios Vera Garin, that should be pretty nice, and also Burruchaga Coria. Like Burruchaga Coria isn't really my style of tennis, so maybe more so Barrios Vera Garin. Garin has started the season like pretty well, and of course, former top 20 guy, and we just always are looking at like his health and whether he's going to be able to get that. If somehow Joao Lucas Reis da Silva is able to play at his absolute best, then that's always someone that I love watching. But unfortunately, it's like one performance in 10 matches. Well, no, actually, this is a stretch. One performance in like half a year, usually.
Yeah. Just looking at this now, Sarondolo up against Tirantes, a lot of obviously all South American clashes. That's, of course, the younger brother, Sarondolo, rather than the older brother who's still in the tournament. In fact, of course, it was the older brother who knocked him out, wasn't it?
Yep. Not their first match professionally, but first on the ATP Tour. Quite a big story for sure, but the match ended up, as you would expect. Sometimes these battles between brothers, they're like obviously quite wild, and basically it's like who handles the situation better. They know each other, as good as you possibly can, but not in this case. Like in this case, I think the quality gap kind of showed.
Also set for tomorrow is Reis da Silva against Seng. And of course, Reis da Silva, I believe, is the only male professional to have come out as gay. So that's a huge story. I've even been in touch with his team about a possible interview. Right now, they said that he wants to concentrate, obviously, on the qualifying, but we'll see if we can get something lined up either this weekend or sometime next week. Does he have a chance, though, against Seng?
He has a chance against anybody. He's like one of these guys who, like, on his day, he's absolutely insane. Okay. But yeah, that day is just not often. And it's a bit of a shame. I mean, he's had a few chances to get a challenger title already. 0-3 in finals, I think. But when he's on, there's a beautiful final 2 years ago against Puccinelli de Almeida, which he loses in Coquimbo. What a match. I think I called it like the second best match of the Challenger season that year, I think. And yeah, I mean, it's really that good. Like he's a ball basher. His ball striking is incredible, but most days it's just countless unforced errors. Seng, I don't think he's like super strong in South America, but he's still a fast player. He's still a good defender. So yeah, he really needs one of these like spectacular performances. Obviously, Reis da Silva, he got a wild card in the qualifying here. I mean, he could usually get a wild card here. Like it's not impossible, but he won it in the pre-qualifying competition. So like it wasn't an actual choice, defeating Daniel Dutra da Silva in the final there. I have some issues as well, like, coming out. If he came out, then Fabian Rebul came out a few years ago. He posted a photo of him kissing a guy, of himself kissing a guy. So,
while still playing active?
Yeah, Fabian Rebul is like 40th in doubles right now.
Okay.
I think he is the second or third seed in Rio with Dumbia.
Okay. Hugo Delian, of course, is a bit of a how many challenger titles has Hugo won?
Oh, tough question. I mean, it's gotta be like 8 or something like that. 7,
I've got
6.
His profile up here. Actually, I'm just going to have a look. It's looking at his. I guess this is main tour stuff. Where he's obviously got a career high of 64. He's currently at 108. Won the Bond Challenger. I don't know if he's won one since then.
No, I don't think so. He won 3 last year, right? Romania, Liberec, and Bonn. If you want to find his challenger titles, the easiest way would be to go to activity, win-loss, and then switch from tour to challenger. I mean, the easiest way actually would be Wikipedia or Tennis Abstract. I don't think the ATP website is that easy for that, but yeah, I mean that's how you can do it. Yeah.
I've got it now. I think
13 even, as you can see. So yeah, I did 13, undermine him a little bit.
Yeah. So 13 titles altogether, and I think he might fancy his chances. Let me just bring up the draw again on the screen. But yeah, I think that little section there. So is it a 2-horse race between him and Coria? Do you think?
Don't forget about Buruchaga. I mean, he's just as good a grinder as most are, really. Recently, he took this crazy challenger title where he was on the court for like almost 7 hours in the final day. But I do think that Delian at least has a nice matchup against Fikovic. Fikovic is like an altitude bot. If you have a quick clay court, he's fantastic. Quick points, serve, return, loves that. But Delian, considering he also had a fine week in Rosario, made the final, only lost to Ugo Carabelli there. Yeah, I kind of like his chances to at least to get to the second round. Obviously, Coria just had a pretty great showing against Fonseca too in Buenos Aires. But maybe some of that was like, crowd inspired and stuff. I'm pretty sure Buruchaga and Coria have played already. And of course, these like South American battles, they just tend to be wild. I mean, there's just so many ways in which you can lose the point if every single rally goes 15, 20 shots.
Yeah. I just wonder. So we've got Faria, Alves, Sorundo, Tarante. One of those 4 will be qualifying. And one of Delian, Fikovic, Buruchaga, or Coria. Who's the favorite out of Faria, Alves, Sorundo, and Tarante? Is it Alves?
Oh, no, I don't think Alves. Alves is definitely the 4th guy there. But like, they are all out of form. I guess it's questionable with Jaime, but since the Australian Open, he's played 2 matches, and they were both pretty horrible. Sorry, I'm not counting the Davis Cup win over Monaco, but that was over a 42-year-old Benjamin Balleret who retired like 5 years ago. So I'm probably not gonna just not gonna count it. No, actually, that was Nuno who beat him, right? So Faria played Vachereau and lost to him. Never mind then. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, he hasn't won a match since. Right? Okay. Am I right?
Yeah, it does sound about right. Yeah, I mean,
because Faria lost to Vachereau, and then for the 5th match they used Enrique Rocha. So yeah, he's lost 3 matches since Australia, and Cerundolo and Tirante are both just not doing anything right now. So yeah, just take a guess. I mean,
Did
all four
Cerundolo
guys
get
are
a
out of form.
he got to the main draw through what method then in Buenos Aires? Through a wild card or?
Oh, I think he had a wild card for. Was it for the qualies or was it for the main draw? I don't even remember now. But I think it must have been a wild card for the qualifying. No, actually,
Oh,
he didn't
okay.
need a wild card for the qualifying, right? I think he had a wild card for the qualifying at first, but then he actually got in,
Okay.
and he did qualify in,
Okay.
in
So
Buenos
there is
Aires.
some form there then.
More than
He won.
Tirante, definitely. I think
Yeah.
Tirante's last matches was like, I don't know, he lost to Guido Ivan Justo in Rosario for sure. And then I don't remember I don't remember who he lost to in Buenos Aires. But yeah, I mean, there's more than this, I guess. But recently, Cerundolo also lost like 2-6 to 6 to Lautaro Midon. Yeah, things are not looking that great.
Just trying to think back to last year. Of course, we had the semi-finalists last year were Navoni against Nori and Baez against Cerundolo. I'm just wondering, was there a qualifier who went deep last year? I've got the
In Rio,
quarterfinal. Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
got the
Navone,
quarterfinal.
obviously.
Okay, so Navona went. Okay, Navona was a qualifier. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had a qualifier in the final, albeit he didn't really turn up for that final against his compatriot Baez, who ended up taking the title. So yeah, there is some. Who knows? Maybe amongst this group of players on the screen right now, we've got a Rio Open finalist. I guess if it is going to be one of these players on the screen right now, Garin would be the sort of most likely one.
I suppose. I mean,
He's
he's won this event before, right? I think.
Okay.
So maybe, yeah, if his form is like, yeah, really just maintained, and he basically makes us think that it's gonna be lasting. I mean, Guacarabelli, I guess. Yeah, although making the final, that sounds a little bit off. Could imagine Hanfman doing it maybe at some point of his career. I don't know if
What's
right now.
Hanfman's best ever sort of? He's not won a title, has he?
No, he has two finals, both on altitude, Gstaad and Kitzbühel. That's 2017 and 2020.
So, as I said, there's a couple of stories going into these qualifiers, and one of them, of course, is provided by Carousel, right? In a way, and at least in terms of the fact he's a bit of a social media beast, regularly posting stuff there, including sometimes, quite disagreeable regarding the way the ATP does certain things. I remember about a year ago, in fact, it was almost exactly a year ago, he was particularly annoyed with the ATP on a purge regarding some of his posts where it was videos of him playing. And it's like, it's me playing and you're trying to, block my stuff on, I think it might have been YouTube, but it could also have been Twitter. He actually ended up winning the day. And I think the ATP relented. Yeah, I mean, he's got a wild card too.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that, like, it's a 30-year-old wild card, but at the same time, it's not like Brazil really has, anyone else they would have to give a wild card here too. Fonseca getting one for getting that special exempt for the main draw definitely helps, because that means that Haide, Meligeni Alves, and Monteiro can all get into the main draw, right? There's also Save of Wild. So, like, yeah, I don't think there are that many like other options you could go for. Obviously, there's always like Puccinelli d'Almeida, Ribeiro. You can even go further. But Carousel, yeah, it's a good story. It's like some good promotion even for the event, I'd say, because obviously he's gonna record a video about it. Obviously, the fact that isn't he?
I mean, I guess so. I mean,
I don't have confirmation, but like obviously he's gonna record the fact that he's playing in the biggest event of his life. Obviously he's gonna have a video about this. I mean, he was out of his like pro career for like 5 years. Of course, part of the Marcos Giron team, the My Tennis Headquarters channel, and for him to kind of just like start almost getting to Grand Slam qualifying range. He's pretty close right now, and then to get this wild card, yeah, I mean it's a big story. I doubt he'll qualify, but it's gonna be massive on his YouTube for sure, and probably he has a lot of like dedicated fans. Who, I don't know if in Brazil he's that popular. Obviously, he's a guy who's like been splitting his time between Brazil and the States, but But definitely, like, his YouTube fandom has, over the years, they're gonna be so excited to see him playing here.
Of the sort of potential matches we might get in the final round of qualifying, is it Garin Carabelli that would be sort of the one that we should be most licking our lips about?
Yeah, it's a good one. Maybe Delhi and Korea, the other one, right?
I was thinking of that one too, yeah.
Yeah, I think third quarter there's not that much like potential in terms of like a
Well,
studded
friend of the
matchup.
show, that always adds a
I
bit
mean,
of
yeah,
spark.
friend of the show, Serundola would be a rematch for Buenos Aires qualies, right? So maybe some revenge there he can exact. Hanfman Tseng or Trungeliti Tseng would be fine, but like, yeah, probably Ugo Carabelli against Garin and Delian against Korea. Not completely writing off Barrios Vera. He took this interesting scheduling choice where, like, he played Davis Cup in Europe. Obviously, he was part of that Belgium feud.
Anything
But
interesting
then,
happening in that tie?
yeah, but then he goes from that through Delray Beach. He actually played Delray Beach instead
Okay.
of Buenos Aires.
Okay.
I don't know, not a bad shout, I guess. He has a very like flat hitting attacking game. Played decent, almost beat Tristan Boyer in the qualies, I think. Was it Tristan Boyer? No, Tristan Boyer he almost beat in the Australian Open qualifying. So I think this time it was like Ethan Queen or something like that. But yeah, I mean, quite exciting still, I guess, Barrios Vera Garin, but probably with the sudden resurgence that Christian has had this year, have to consider him the favorite.
Okay. Any final thoughts on these qualifiers before we wrap up?
Not really. I mean, I'm definitely quite excited to see the wild cards from Brazil. Anyone like Navone who's gonna like dominate some rounds and get into the final. Maybe not, but we do have some potential classics lined up. There in Korea would be the match, I think, from the entire, talking of first rounds and potential second rounds. That would feel like a real classic. I'd like to see that.
What would be particularly? Is it a clash of styles, or just the fact that they're kind of heavyweights at this level?
I think, yeah, heavyweights of this sort of like obviously not ATP 500 level generally, but like, yeah, South America clay courts. These are the guys who over the past few years have just been, consistently up there. They are veterans by now. I mean, both of them I think are over 30. And it just would feel like kind of like the most high profile matchup here, I think.
I wonder if Carousel and Coria might be in a sort of YouTube fight, which we will get in amongst as well, of course. And it's a pity they weren't on a collision course, and then they could sort of both take their sort of camcorders to the court.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've played any other YouTubers. Like, have either of them played Jules Marie? I don't think so.
I think Joao by the way, appeared on Coria's YouTube channel recently. I get a lot of spam from Coria, by the way, and I know I could block it. And like on Instagram, I guess he just spams all his followers every time he does anything. So I do get that. I know I can shift it, but I haven't got around to doing it. Carousel, I'm not sure if I follow him on Instagram. I know I do on YouTube. But yeah, there could be some good footage coming from the Rio Open in the next couple of days. We will also be providing that as well, as we have boots on the ground in the Brazilian city. So that is to come over the next 48 hours. So make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Talking Tennis TT. And I think that can bring this show to an end.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've got some Indian challengers at 6 a.m. that won't watch themselves.
I thought you were going to say Indian food.
Nah, Indian food, not today.
You got the dinner. You got your dinner in before, because I think you finished the stream maybe 2 hours ago, I guess.
Yeah, more or less. I did manage to get that dinner in. It was some like turkey thing. I don't know if they eat a lot of turkey in India.
Chicken is more the meat, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I've never heard of an Indian dish that would be like done with turkey.
No, me neither. Okay, wonderful. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. Of course, do keep up with all things tennis by hitting the like button and subscribing. Then you're going to get reminded to do that right now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.